All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Well, I got a burr under my saddle.
We talk, you listen.
Somebody that's going to take an innocent life is not mentally insane?
You know them.
Time to nut up or shut up.
You love to hate them.
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
Can I bring my AR-15 next time?
Sure.
Yes.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from what used to be America. He is in Alabama, I am in California, and here we are again.
Again, we are social distancing to the max.
World champions of social distancing.
Hey, before we get started, I want to point out that we've been not doing a show for this week. One time, you forgot.
I did forget. Shows you how important it is on my mind.
But the other couple of days is because, I had a little incident with a spider, and I was pretty sick. Okay, and I hate spiders, but look, like I just got through telling Sass, had I died from that spider bite, it would have been the Chinese's fault, because I would not have been at home this entire work to say, honey, I'll take care of the laundry. Which is, I was in the utility room where the washer and dryer is when the spider bit my toe. All right. So because I was at home because of the Chinese, my death could have been labeled COVID-19.
Oh, most likely it would have been. It seems like in fact, I think they've been caught saying, oh, if somebody dies, we just make it COVID.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
It's a little crazy. But a lot of the news that we're going to cover has been already covered by other commentators. Sorry. And one of those commentators is the president. Because one of the things I want to say 3 days ago was, I used to drive trucks. Now, the thing about driving a truck is, well, I spent a lot of time in Sasquatch's area, but I'm from Alabama. Now, when things hit the fan in your hometown, and you're 3,000 miles away or 2,500 miles away, there's not a lot you can do. Now, can you imagine being a truck driver from Georgia who is in Oregon, and he reads the news and his county has been hit hard while he's gone? All of a sudden, the numbers went skyrocketing. Now, imagine being a truck driver trying to find a place to go to the bathroom.
I thought they just did it in Gatorade bottles and threw it out the window.
I used to target Welcome to Arkansas, home of Bill Clinton. Oh, that's an admission of guilt. I did not say that. All I'm saying is if you decide you will walk around one of the signs, don't do it because there's a lot of broken glass there. But the truck drivers out there are just as much heroes as anybody because they are continuing to do this, although in many instances, they can't find a place to go to the bathroom because of social distancing. They're having problems finding somewhere to eat. Had it been me, if I were still driving today, I'd park the truck and say, you know what? I got food at the house. I'm going home. Not the hero. Okay. So just remember the truck drivers. And if you, for some reason, find yourself at a truck stop and you see somebody trying to get food and he looks like a driver, buy him a meal. Maybe you'll make him drive one more 1,000 miles before he says, screw this, I'm parking the truck.
When this thing first started, like I have been deemed essential, which makes me feel good about myself. So I've been having to go to work, and I go to work early in the morning. And one of the best parts of this for me is traffic has been almost nil. I mean, I've cut an hour off my time to and from work. So going in the morning, there's a lot of truckers on the road, and they're driving. Those guys are loving this because they are flying down the road. I mean, just flying. And I'm like, it was raining really hard. I mean, like you could barely see in front of you. And this dude he must have been doing 85.
So balls.
Go. See what happens now that I live with people?
Did I hear snowballs?
No. I think he said suck balls, but.
An editorial.
Well, he's all mad because he can't watch his anime because this is the room where he watches TV.
That's hilarious because we didn't have to wait for somebody to type an editorial.
I know. If he thinks that's the worst we've heard.
He should read our email.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, your area is a very difficult place for drivers to drive in, truck drivers, because if it just sprinkles a little bit, you're going from 70 to 35. And unless you're used to the Los Angeles area, you'll run over 3 Volkswagens before you bring that big truck to a slowdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bet they're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, they're jamming around.
Well, look here, we're gonna die.
Hidden in Sasquatch, the calming voice of America. Just let you know we're gonna die.
Yeah. Well, and it's not going to be because of the virus, the Chi-Com virus. Although it could be, I guess. But, here's the thing. This is the way I look at it. The drivers is one thing. If the drivers get to the point where they can't drive anymore, you don't get your food. But here's the other thing. Smithfield is a Chinese-owned meat production corporation, and they got several places where they take care of, you grow the pig, but then you send it to a processing plant.
Oh,
They shut down.
There's a couple of places like that here.
Yeah, well, they shut down the processing plants because of the COVID-19.
Uh-huh.
Or what do you like to call it? The Wing Chun virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're shutting down. This Chinese company is shutting down processing plants for meat in America because of the Wing Chun virus.
Well, because they don't want all the illegals to catch it, because they're the ones probably working there.
Yeah, I'm not saying that this is a conspiracy. I just want to point out that it is owned by China, a Chinese company. But if the drivers don't get it there, and on top of that, cattlemen are killing their cows. Same thing would go on the pork. Dairy industry is pouring milk away because of all these fast food industries and restaurants are shut down. So their usual customers aren't buying as much. So they're throwing away good food.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, people in Walmart are stabbing each other for a roll of toilet paper.
Well, you know what? I don't like to give any props to L.A. usually because I'm not a fan of L.A., but I did hear of a bunch of restaurants there that had to shut down. So what they were doing was they were taking all the food they had in their fridges and selling it off to, people could come in and buy, however many steaks they had, for that week. And I thought, well, that's a pretty good idea. At least they're not wasting the food.
That is a very good idea. And this is how fast I can derail any conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever watch TV?
Not much, but sometimes.
I know you haven't been lately because you have yard work to do.
Yes.
You've taken care of a house, brand new house. Well, I don't have a big house or a big yard, and everything's pretty much okay. So there's nothing for me to do. If I had a farm, I'd be doing stuff, but I don't. So I'm in front of the stupid boob tube between that and reading the news. And as I'm reading the news, I hear these advertisements come on. And there are multiple corporations that I believe use the same marketing guru who is a moron. I think. Play the solemn music. In this time of crisis, we're all together, and we're here for you. So understand that while you can't dine in our facilities, we built this business for you. So please come through the drive-through or takeout order. We have curb service because we did this for you. Bullshit.
I've been hearing those. I've been hearing those too, and every time I hear them, I'm like, "Yeah, it's because you want the money. You don't care about anybody."
You didn't build your business for me. It's not like, hey, Denton, wifey, we did this for you. Come and let us take care. Really, no. If that be the case, I would have to pay your ass. It'd be steak on the house, but it's not. So don't give me no crap. At the end of the day, we want to be here for your parties and your friendship. No, at the end of the day, you want to be there for my money. And if you're not there at the end of the day, somebody will build another restaurant.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of that, I did have something happen it happened today, but it actually happened a while ago too. No, I went to Stater Brothers because I'm the only one leaving the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I go get the food. That way we're, less risk of anybody getting contaminated. So
Yeah, the only way they can be contaminated is by you.
yeah, and since I got to go to work anyway, so I'm at Stater Brothers. Gonna say it. They're not a sponsor, so I can say whatever I want.
Right.
And I like Stater Brothers. I've shopped there quite a bit. But the other day I go there, and it's raining outside quite hard. I mean, it was like Washington State here for about 2 weeks. It just rained constantly. So I take my bags with me because I don't know if you know. I'm sure you do because I've bitched about it on this show. But we have to pay for bags here in California now. Mm-hmm. So I take my plastic Stater Brothers bags that I had from before. And I got all my stuff on the conveyor belt. I grab my bags, and the lady says, "Oh, excuse me, sir. Right now, we're not allowing those bags because of COVID-19. So if you'd like, you can purchase bags from us, or feel free to go out in the parking lot and bag your own when we're done."
Bag. Oh, put it in the cart and cart it.
Yeah, and once I get outside, I can use my own bags because they wouldn't touch my bags, I guess, because they're afraid they're poisoned. So I was supposed to go out in the parking lot and bag my own. Well, it's pouring outside. So I came home, a little angry, had a few drinks.
Your tater chips are
Yeah.
tater chips are wet.
Yeah, had a few drinks and decided, you know what? I'm going to email Stater Brothers. So I emailed them and told them, hey, this is the situation. This is what happened. I said, I understand, you guys got to sell bags now, state of California, yada, yada, yada. But when it's freaking raining outside, your people shouldn't be so stupid as to tell me to go outside and bag my own groceries. How about just giving me a bag? So they wrote me back, and they said, well, sir, we're concerned about what you said, and we're glad you contacted us, and just to let you know that it is the law in California that you have to purchase a bag and blah, 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 and just their typical, standard, we don't care what you said sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So I wrote them back and said, no, it is the law that you have to give this type of bag. You don't have to charge us for them. That's not the law. It's just that you have to use this type of bag. So, I just, maybe I'll go shop somewhere else from now on. Well, this was a week ago or so. Today, I go to Stater Brothers. As I'm walking through, the guy says, would you like a bag, sir? They're free right now.
Good for you.
So whether it is or not, I've decided that I changed their policy.
You made an impact on California, and a positive one.
Yes, I did. It was all me.
Good for you. And everybody listening, stand up. I don't care if you're in a crowd or if you're by yourself. You're going to feel stupid if you're by yourself. Just start clapping for SAS because California's kind of screwed up.
I fought back. I fought the law, and they didn't win.
And he brought a little sensibility back into California.
Hey, you want another fun COVID-19 pandemic story?
Oh, hell yeah. What else we're going to talk about? That's the only thing there is.
That's true. I forget. This is just, a fun show. People are sitting home. They got nothing to do. They can listen to us talk. So the other day.
Driving.
Yeah. The other day, I wanted a cigar. So I remember driving by Bevmo. Do you guys have Bevmos in Alabama?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Bevmo is basically, you can buy alcohol there. I mean, you can buy it at the store too, but I mean, Bevmo has maybe a bigger selection of things you normally can't find at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. But they also have a humidor with cigars. Well, driving by, I saw people going towards the door and standing at the door, so I figured they were letting people in a little bit at a time and all that stuff. Well, I go there to buy a cigar, come to find out they're only doing online purchases of alcohol. So you order online, then you go stand there at the door. They don't let you in. They just hand you your stuff, you pay, and leave. So I'm like, well, crap. Now I can't get a cigar. So I'm driving home, and I see a head shop open. And I figure, you know what? I'll just check. So I go walking in there, and they have a nice little humidor, had some nice cigars, bought me a couple, paid. I'm on my way. There's a few people in there. But I'm thinking, I don't know about any place else, but in California, it's only supposed to be essential products, stores that can stay open. And I'm like, okay, so it's essential that you have to buy a bong?
Yes.
But I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad it is because I got my cigars. But I just was laughing because it's like, all right, well, during this this horrible, scary time if you don't have anything to smoke your weed out of. At least you can go buy a bong.
Essential. If you run out of toilet paper, it's always on our minds nowadays, rolling paper, you better have a bong.
Well, exactly.
Okay.
And
there's a couple things that's going to save people's lives.
But you know what? I mean, stoners are the most ingenious people on the planet, because if they don't have a bong, they will make one out of an apple. They'll make one out of a beer can. I've seen it done. So, really, I mean...
Here's what you do. You take the paper towel roll.
Oh, yeah.
The cardboard, yeah. You drill a hole in the end of it, put some tinfoil there, tape off the other end, light up. So, I don't know how I know that.
I don't either. You must have saw it in a movie.
I think I did, or when I was in the Army. Anyway, you spoke of cigars, so I have to tell you about this one.
All right.
And this is no plug. I'm not getting any money for this. Pissed Off Christoph. That's Pistoff Kristoff.
Sounds interesting.
It is very good. It has several different hues to it as you smoke it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very good. And it's like about $8 for a cigar. So it's not too expensive.
Well, I've never seen that brand. I'll have to check it out.
No, you can order Cigars International. You can get off the internet.
Yeah, I thought about that, but which I don't mind doing, but it takes a few days for it to get here.
Oh, what? You got nothing but time in your hands right now because you can't do a damn thing else.
Well, I do, but I wanted to smoke one then, so I needed something, right then.
Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna point something out here.
All right.
Because
point away.
I was talking to somebody recently, as in today, who is a family member that I won't mention, who is younger than I am, so young he could be my son. That is, I think he spent too much time in a liberal state, and I think his time in college didn't do him well.
Yeah, it usually happens.
Yeah. He was explaining to me how the conservatives of this country are dying left and right. Okay, and the reason why is because it was the conservatives are the ones that believe Trump when he said, no big deal.
The bodies are stacking up.
Trump said, this is no big deal. The coronavirus, it's no big deal, which I don't remember him putting it that way. I remember him trying to, put a positive face on the scene. But I want to point out something here. And this is from the Daily Caller. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom, a bunch of letters.
Just drop a silverware drawer and that's his name.
Yeah. Said during a speech in early February that the spread of the coronavirus outside of China could be controlled easily, thanks in part to the Chinese government's efforts to contain the virus. Tedros made the claim during a speech before the World Health Organization Executive Board on February 3rd, a week after he had met in person with Chinese President Xi Jinping. At the time of his speech, there were 151 confirmed cases of the Kung flu and one death outside of China. He went on to say, if we invest in fighting at the epicenter, at the source, then the spread of the other countries is minimal and also slow. Tedros told and even this Daily Caller is calling him by his first name because his last name is just murderous. Tedros told the executive committee, referring to the virus's outbreak in Wuhan, if it's minimal and slow, what is going outside can also be controlled easily. So the number of cases now 151 is actually small and it's growing only slowly. Okay, so President Trump is trying to put on a positive face. But at the same time, he's saying, you know what? We're not going to have any more travel. We're going to put a travel ban. No more Chinese. We need no more China here. Okay? Makes sense because epicenter, China. We don't need them coming here, right?
Nope.
Fast forward to yesterday. And this is from Breitbart. House Democrats revived the specter of impeachment.
Wow, that word has just become a joke.
It's like, I know, right? You hear it too much. Impeachment for President Trump if he moves forward with his order to defund Communist China influenced World Health Organization for mismanaging and covering up the extent of the coronavirus outbreak during its early stages. Okay, look here. Wow.
Well, you know why Tedros, is that his name, Tedros?
Yeah, Tedros.
You know why he said what he said, right?
Yeah, he's owned by China because he's an Ethiopian communist.
Well, exactly. I was going to put it a little differently because the WHO is China's bitch.
Yeah. You have a point there. Now, you can't have it both ways, screwballs. Either Trump was wrong, evil and wrong, wanting to kill people because he says, hey, we've got this, we can handle this. Or China and its little puppet, WHO, are wrong because they say the same thing. So, you know what? And one more thing beyond that hypocrisy there. Have you ever looked and saw the enumerated powers of Congress? It's in the Constitution. It tells you the powers of Congress. Mm-hmm. One of the things that's enumerated in the powers of Congress is to take our money from our pockets, even before we get to see it, right from our paychecks. Take that money and send it off to foreign countries and foreign organizations. Wait a minute. No, that's not the case. It's absolutely wrong for them to do it. It's unconstitutional. Now, you want to impeach Trump for saying, you know what, we're not going to give that money anymore. I got a better idea. Impeach every last one of you little bastards who says you're going to impeach him for that. And as a matter of fact, impeach every bastard who ever did, who's still serving, any kind of unconstitutional laws and who agreed with funding these kind of things. Mm-hmm. Because that is impeachable. Well, unconstitutional, therefore impeachable.
Along the lines of what you're talking about here, I saw the other day somebody had taken two of Chuck Schumer's tweets and put them on one on top of the other. And the first one said something about, how dare President Trump lock down the country. It's only because he hates immigrants and wants to punish them. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then the second one was, a couple weeks later of him saying, President Trump did not do enough to halt the virus coming into the country. It's like, well, wait a second. So he shut down the borders. That was too much, but then now he hasn't done enough?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I hope my younger family member who's young enough to be my son, not saying that he is.
His name just happens to be Sonny Boy.
Is listening to this. Though I know he's not, because he won't. Because I think it'll go against whatever he believes.
Well, all right, if that were true, if Republicans or conservatives were dying off by the millions because of Trump, you would think the Democrats would be happy because as soon as those Republicans or conservatives die, they automatically get switched to Democrats as far as voting.
Right.
Because, the dead always vote Democrat.
Now, I'm not going to continue about who this particular individual is, but I know for a fact he spent his younger years in Alabama.
I don't think anybody could ever guess who you're talking about.
Well, anyway, a couple of weeks ago, he was railing against our governor, Kay Ivey, because she didn't do enough to protect us from the COVID-19. All right, now, first off, constitutional me, I don't want the government doing anything to protect me.
Nope.
Let me know what's going on, and guess what? Social distancing, I am a pro at that. All right? I do that when nothing's going on. I can go to the extreme if something's going on.
Yeah, it's funny how, we try to avoid people in general just because we don't like them. And everybody calls us crazy and preppers or whatever they call us. And now that this is going on, they're like, oh, no, you need to social distance and stay away from people. It's like, that's what I've been doing my entire life.
You haven't been listening to us? Come on. But look here. I want to point out something right real quick. I'm going to a coronavirus update thing. This thing's pretty quick. This little app got. In Alabama, we have 4,404 confirmed cases and 137 deaths. I don't understand this. It says at the above, like 4,404 confirmed cases plus 163, I guess, pending.
Mm-hmm.
In the death thing, it says 137 plus 19. Well, those 19 people ain't made up their mind yet? For crying out loud, how hard is it? You're dead or not?
They're in their final death throes.
I guess so. Now let's go to Colorado. Colorado has 8,675 confirmed cases with 719 pending, 374 deaths with 44 uncommittals. Okay, Colorado only has about 500,000 more people than we do. Their numbers are much higher, both cases and deaths. Rail against my governor when you're now governor? I mean, if what you're thinking is your governor's going to save your life, your governor sucks. Okay, and then he tells me that he goes to the store once a week. I tell him I haven't been to the store in weeks, but I'm a conservative. I was prepared. He tells me that the liberals are already prepared because they knew what was going on, and he's going to the store once a week. It's business as usual in Colorado. And then he tells me it's 10 inches of snow on the ground. I said, well, you going skiing? And this unknown person that I'm talking about says, no, we can't because the lodges are shut down. Oh, really?
So that was Colorado's big fix, just shut the lodges down.
Yeah. I don't know what business as usual is in Colorado, but he was railing about the fact that Kay Ivey hadn't did we're going to die if we're not locked down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like apparently they did, but it's business as usual because he goes to the store once a week and it is crowded in there. Well, if it's crowded in there and the Boulder, Denver area is extremely liberal, if it's crowded in there, it tells me that they were not prepared. Elsewise, they could be like me and say, you know what? Let the morons go to the stores. I'm not going.
Yep.
Which brings me to another thing. And I think you'll enjoy this.
All right.
This is from the Big Wobble. And before I get to this, I would like to point out that if you're listening to us and you get our theme, you understand that you need to go to prepperforums.net. That's prepperforums.net. Because we are going to, well, some are going to die. Don't let it be you and yours. Be prepared. Now, this is going to fit. You'll understand where I'm going with this. Well, by the way, we have a email site, don't we?
Yep.
What is it?
It would be dentonandsashshow@gmail.com.
Yes, please tell us how sucky we are. Just like your stepson did. Suck balls.
You know he does have to go to sleep here tonight.
Okay, well, let's hurry up.
I'm just saying. No. I'm saying he can yell whatever he wants, but eventually he's going to sleep. And that's when the magic marker comes out.
Good deal. Rats in major U.S. cities are resorting to war and cannibalism to survive the lockdown, as expert claims Americans will face similar problems if the shutdowns go on much longer.
Oh, well, I mean, it should only be a matter of time before the liberals are screaming, we need to impeach Trump because the rats are having to suffer because of COVID stuff.
Bless their little bitty hearts, yes. Rats living in major U.S. cities are resorting to war and cannibalism to survive the coronavirus lockdown, a rodent expert has told the media. But as closures hamper food production, humans may also find themselves in trouble. While rats feeding off the residential waste in places like New York City and Los Angeles are doing just fine, those relying on restaurants shuttered due to COVID-19 quarantines are suddenly facing starvation, urban rodentologist Bobby Corrigan told NBC News on Monday. So basically what we're talking about, I can't stand reading stuff. These rats that have been living in areas where there's restaurants and that kind of stuff. Restaurants aren't doing as much. There's not as much waste. So all these rats are saying, well, hell, I'm hungry. So they're moving away from there and going to other rat territories where the rats are doing just fine, residential sections, that kind of stuff. And so they're going there as armies, and they're fighting, and whoever has a bigger army will be able to maintain the food supply.
That's usually how it works.
That is how it works, no matter what kind of mammal it is. Okay, and if you're getting hungry enough, you'll eat the other guy, which we already know rats will do that. They're cannibals big time. And if you put a bunch of them, and that's why I can't stand cities, because we are kind of like rats, you put a bunch of rats in a cramped up area, they're going to lose their minds, and they become liberals. No, that's what we do. They lose their minds. They start warring, eating each other, and expecting somebody else to keep them alive. Cannibalism, whether it's economic or actual physical.
Before all this stuff started, wasn't it not too long ago that on the news they were showing a rat the size of a Buick in New York hauling away a huge slice of pizza, and then there was another video that somebody had taken outside of a Subway once it was closed, and the entire thing, there were rats climbing all over inside where people eat, and everybody was like, oh, this is so bad, it's horrible. Well, now they're killing each other off. Seems like a good thing to me.
Yeah, and apparently it's going to be the conservatives. It's going to kill each other. Wait a minute. I don't believe that one bit. It's not going to be the conservatives. Okay, we're not running the stores once a week. Okay, look, the fact of the matter is, we already explained, truck drivers, if it gets really bad, they're going to park the trucks because they want to be home. When you see livestock being slaughtered because they can't sell it, dairy, milk being just wasted because they can't sell it, we're going to run out of food. Everything from supply to logistics is going to shut down if we don't get shit started. So look, get prepared. It's going to be hard now because you didn't want to get prepared when it was easy to be prepared, but you've got to get smart. Go to Walmart, do the drive-through thing once a day. Buy 2 cans of this, 2 cans of that. Just get stuff stocked up. Go on the internet. As a matter of fact, I ordered some stuff from My Patriot Supply, and I've got plenty of food, but I thought, there's some things I like. One of the things is the freeze-dried garden peas. It's like you don't have to cook them. Don't rehydrate them. Eat them like candy. They're awesome. And by the way, you don't want to get sick, so Alabama, I'm sure there's other places, but AlabamaGoods.com is selling those kind of homemade masks. Yeah. It's like 2 pieces of high woven cotton cloth, and there's a pouch where you can put, I don't know if, I saw it on Prepper Forums, heard about it before, but you work on cars, don't you?
Every once in a while, yeah, when I need to.
Yeah, you go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's, and you can buy the blue shop towels. It's rolled up like whatever, the kind of stuff you have hanging in your kitchen. But it's blue and it's kind of softer.
Yeah.
Take a sheet of that and cut 2 pieces the same size of the ones you buy from AlabamaGoods.com have a pouch where you can put the filter in. Filter not included.
Here, our mask will save your lives, but only if you finish them.
Right. Well, where the hell do you get a filter? Well, I'm telling you, if you take 2 pieces of the blue shop towel cloth, put it in that pouch, and then put a piece of tape over where the opening is, because air will take the path of least resistance. When you inhale, the air is not going to say, oh, wait, we got to go in front of the blue cloth and get sucked in through that. No. You got to make it where it has to go from the front of the mask. See what I'm saying? Okay, and that is as good as the N95 masks say.
Well, that's all.
These things.
That's all fine and good until Joe Blow sneezes in your face and it gets in your eyes. Then your mask isn't doing much good.
That is true. That is true. But in that case, make sure that he dies before you. Just saying. There's nothing you can do. I mean, I wear glasses anyway. That's going to kind of help me unless it gets sucked around in a vortex into my eyeball. But there's nothing that you can do in this life to make sure that, nothing's going to get you. But this is one of those things that's kind of nice because you know where the enemy is and you know how to protect yourself the best as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. Do you have anything else, by the way?
I do.
Excellent.
A lot of people are, we got these SIP orders, the shelter in place. And look, I get it. I don't think this thing is as big as they made it out to be, but there are people dying, and that's sad. Nobody likes that people are dying, but they are. It's a fact of life. And some people, personally, I think the worst part of this entire thing is the economy is going to hell. I mean, we had a nice, strong economy. Trump had things rolling along, best numbers we'd seen in years. And now it's all kind of falling apart. Hopefully we can get it back on track. But if you did lose your job, or if you are lucky enough, like myself, to be getting paid for staying home, well, I'm going to work too, but that's a long story. Anyway, if you are lucky enough to be staying at home getting paid or whatever, you're probably bored. You're stuck at home. You get bored. Well, thankfully, USA Today has given us a list of things to do while you were on lockdown.
Oh, thank God for USA Today.
Now, this was a long, long list. I only picked out a few because, you can only talk about this for so long. The first one here is teach yourself a foreign language.
Just up and teach yourself a foreign language. Why not?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's probably websites or things. I mean, was that Rosetta Stone or something like that where they say you can learn?
And it is good. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. But I mean, I guess if you want to learn French, hey, you got time on your hands, might as well do it. Next one says text all your exes just in case you have one more thing you wanted to get off your chest. Now, how horrible of an idea is that? I mean, if you were with somebody and it got messy and you hated each other and you were screaming back and forth and whatever, and now that's over, it's all calmed down and you've sort of moved on, now you're going to text them again and bring all that back up?
Oh, my goodness.
I know that one gets to you because you have an ex or two that you probably would want to say if they do too.
I have a couple, but I don't want to even start because I won't stop.
All right. Well, if you get in that place where you think you need to text somebody, you can try this next one. Meditate. Try lying down with your eyes closed, palms up, while focusing on your breath. Or spend 20 minutes sitting cross-legged and repeat a soothing word to yourself in your head.
I can't concentrate on my breasts. I don't have very big breasts.
Not breast, breath.
Oh, I'm a guy. Oh, breath. My bad.
Next one, face masks. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking surgical mask. No, moisturizer. Yes, treat yourself to a 10-step skincare routine you don't have time for during your normal work week.
Yeah. And I'll Facebook that when I do it, just so I'll have no friends on the other side of this shit.
Next up, look at pictures of puppies.
Because, considering that our poultry, our pork, our beef industry is going down the drains, those puppies are looking very tasty.
Well, I've said it all along. If things, go real sideways, I'm eating 2 goats and a dog.
Yes. The neighbors will be unhappy, but who cares?
Next one, put together the most attractive caricature board possible, but you can only use foods you already have in the fridge or the cupboard.
Don't even know what that means.
All right, well, a caricature. All right, say you go to an amusement park and they got those people there that will draw your head really big and then like a little funny body of you playing soccer or fishing or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a caricature. Mm-hmm. So what they're telling you to do is take the foods you already have in your fridge or cupboard and make one of those. I guess kind of like a macaroni art project like kids make in kindergarten.
They want us to waste food at this time.
Exactly. That's what I'm reading. It's like, really, during this time when everybody's, freaking out over food, you want it to go to their fridge and take stuff out and make art out of it?
Mm-mm. So the good thing about that is if they're doing that, they're no longer worried about toilet paper.
Apparently not. Next one is write actual letters to family and friends. I think it's called email.
Yeah.
I mean, most people probably don't even have a stamp in their house anymore.
No, it's called texting, really.
Oh, yeah, or texting. And the last one I got here, attempt things with your non-dominant hand, from writing to brushing your teeth. Prepare to be frustrated.
And bleeding.
Yeah,
You ever tried? Look, I've had to brush my left hand before. It ain't easy. You're going to get bruised gums. Look, I don't care what the USA Today says. Do not do that.
You'll have an ambulance at the house in no time.
Yeah.
But the whole reason I brought this up is because if you are so bored with all this time we have on our hands nowadays that you have to go to a list like this to find things to do, you are useless. Because personally, me, I've been doing tons of stuff around the house. I've been leveling my yard. I've fixed a ton of stuff. I've painted part of the bathroom. I mean, there's tons of things to do. This is a godsend to me. I have plenty of time to do stuff.
You don't enjoy your job like I do.
But what's that got to do with anything?
Well, I don't know. You're looking forward to. I was texting my boss, or actually my boss's boss. I said, "Hey, we're going back to normal work next week." And he says, "Why?" I says, "Because I'm tired of being at the house." He goes, "Well, I don't care because I like being away from work." And that's my boss's boss. He doesn't give a shit. I have a mission. My mission is not lawn work, washing the windows, washing the car, learning a new language.
Yeah, but doesn't everybody? I know I've heard people say it before. They're like, oh, if I had time, I would do this and I would do that and do these things and everything. Now we got the time, and everybody has to go look at
but
pictures
I'm
of
not
puppies.
allowed to drive from here to Pensacola for a week to go on an eatcation.
Well, you could. I mean,
Some trooper's going to beat me down, tell me to go back to Alabama. Okay, because we are in a tyrannical state nowadays. May I see your papers, please?
You know what I did the other day with all this time I have in my hand? I made redneck wind chimes.
What's a red? Oh, yeah. Tell them about that.
Yeah, well, all right. So I made a little, took some scrap wood that I had, and I cut it up, kind of made it look old and beat up, and then I took my little wood burning set, and I wrote Casa de Sasquatch on it. Then I took string, and I hung beer cans from the bottom of it. Now I got a nice decorative thing for my patio.
And it reminds you to drink often.
Exactly. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do.
I like working on helicopters.
Well, get yourself a helicopter.
And that's the thing. They say, well, all these people can work at home. Really? That large-ass oak tree in my backyard is going to ensure they can't land a broke aircraft in my backyard for me to fix.
Oh, there's got to be a ball field or something around your house.
Yeah, but you can't go to the ball field because social distancing.
No, you say I'm going to fix a helicopter because I'm essential.
You got a point there.
There's a way around it. It just depends on how you word things.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. One more thing. No, two more things.
All right.
I bet we're going long, but, look here. The Chinese. I didn't like the Chinese beforehand. Okay, because they see us as the enemy, and they want to destroy us while they take every bit of work from us and our money. The U.S. carrier outbreak aboard the USS Teddy Roosevelt is now a major military disaster with nearly 600 confirmed COVID-19 infections among sailors. That ain't good, including one death and at least 4 hospitalizations. As the outbreak among the approximately 4,860 crew members grew aboard the Western Pacific deployed ship last month, it was delivered to Guam as Commander Captain Brett Kozier fired after speaking out in a leaked letter. The nuclear carrier has essentially had to be evacuated of much of its crew. Now, the thing about it is, it's not the only one. It's been a lot of our, oh, damn, all these little pop-ups. A lot of our carriers have been hit, 4 of them. The Chinese are gleeful about this.
Oh, of course they are.
They're happy, and they're saying that they are not affected. Well, again, the Chinese lie. As my second ex-wife's mother would say, who was Korean, you know how Chinaman lie? Or you know how when Chinaman lie? Hit my move. No, but she was not. She was not at all racist. She was Korean, married to an American. When in Korea, keep hand on wallet. Koreans steal money from you every time. He'll steal your wallet. He'll steal gold out of your tooth. Now, you say, Kyung, aren't you Korean? No, I'm American. Okay, so anyway, she'll tell you in a heartbeat. Chinese lie. Okay, but this is how we responded. We're still capable and still willing, no matter what the threat is. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley said last week, I wouldn't want any mixed messages going out there to any adversaries that can take advantage of an opportunity, if you will, at a time of crisis. That would be a terrible and tragic mistake if they thought that. You know why? Because we have the Air Force who can nuke your ass in a heartbeat. We have submarines who can nuke your ass in a heartbeat.
And we still have the Salvation Army.
Who will
ring bells in your face.
Nuke your ass in a heartbeat? Okay.
You never know. Salvation Army may be sitting on some nukes. You never know.
You never know. So, I know you read some things. I mean, this is just one thing I pulled out where, we're in a precarious position and our enemies are going to take advantage of us. Never fear. They won't do that here because they know we'll nuke them there. There's nothing to worry about. Now, I have another thing about Jeff Sessions. I don't know what time it is.
Yeah, if it's quick, we got time.
Okay, it's real quick. Let Americans work and earn. Halt foreign worker visas now.
All right, I agree with that.
Okay, that's about as fast. That right there was all you need to know. That was a summary. That's a summary of that thing, and that's why I'm voting for Jeff Sessions again. People say, "Well, he's a deep state worker who undermined Trump." No, he didn't. No, you just don't know Jeff. Jeff thought he was in a position where if he didn't recuse himself, he would have looked bad. He would have made the position look bad. So he recused himself. That's the kind of man Jeff Sessions is. As far as being a senator from Alabama, representing people like you and me, he's fantastic. Okay, so all you people say, Jeff Sessions is anti-Trump. No, Jeff Sessions was not anti-Trump. Jeff Sessions was a shitty AG. No, he went after MS-13 better than anybody else has done, and other things. So, no, get off Jeff's back, and this is proof that he is a good American. Halt foreign worker visas now.
Well, I'm sure the liberals are screaming that is racist.
Well, I don't care.
Neither do I. I'm just pointing out.
So there. Well, this dead air. Got anything?
Well, I mean, during this COVID-19, you got to expect some dead air. But no, I don't. I think that was a fun, interesting, and informative show that we've given to the people.
And if you didn't like it, don't feel like you're by yourself. But if you want to voice your opinion, go to DentonandSassShow@gmail.com or go to prepperforums.net, where he's also going to place this video. And you can learn from not us, but some really smart people there, how to stay alive when stupid hits.
Oh,
now,
and if you're watching this on YouTube, because we do put it on Podomatic and it's on iTunes and on YouTube, the picture that's on the screen is, I'm going to put up the picture today of me going to Home Depot.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll put that one up so you can see how much fun I had at Home Depot this morning.
How many hours did it take you to get to the door?
It actually went faster than I thought, but it was still, a pain.
Like I'm telling you, this Walmart drive-up thing is great. You call, tell them what you want. 5 days later, they'll text you and say, come pick it up now. And you pull in, and then you make a phone call and say, hey, I'm in spot number 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then this cute little girl will come up with all the stuff in a basket and say, okay, you wanted this, but we had to substitute with that. Is that okay? And you're going to say what? Sure. It's not like I asked for olive oil and I got explosives. All right, yeah, I'll take it. You asked for this, and we had excess. So you spend 10 minutes going through this shit, and you go, yeah, you just whatever. Put it in my. I just popped the button. The hatch is open. But
And don't mind the dead bodies that are back there.
yeah, they're for Kmart. But it really. I mean, I complain about it a little bit, but it's better than going in there because at least I didn't have to go through the front door and barge through Bubba and his inbred extended family who thinks that's a place to have a family reunion. All right.
Hey, speaking of that curbside thing, real quick, it reminded me of a story. When this whole thing first started and everybody was kind of clueless on what was going on, Hot Nursey was doing some work from home, and my printer wasn't working. I don't know why, it just kind of crapped out. So she's like, well, I'll buy a new one from Staples or wherever, one of those places. So she found one online that looked good, and she bought it, and she said, will you go pick it up? Sure, I'll go pick it up. So I get over there into the parking lot where there's a few other businesses, and it's kind of crowded, a lot of people in there because, like I said, this is the beginning and nobody really knew what was going on. But it didn't have a spot to park for them to bring it out to you. I'm looking around, and I don't see any signs. So I call her up and I say, hey, I don't see any signs. Where am I supposed to park for them to bring it out to me? And she goes, I don't know. I've never done this before. So I go, all right, I'll figure it out. But they were doing construction in the front of the building, so all the parking spaces in the front were roped off and dug up. So I think that was where you're supposed to park. So I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. So I ended up finding a parking spot, and the dude found me eventually, but I was like, this is confusing. Maybe I am old.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to wrap this up. What you need to do now to understand what's going on is to find Idiocracy somewhere on the internet and watch it. Now, while you're doing that, I'm pretty sure we're doomed. So, Sass, what should we do?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to continue drinking up.
Good night, everybody, and we hope that we will all come together again next week. Good night.
The days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm, where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away.